Good morning. It's 9 o'clock. We'll call the meeting of the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners to order. We'll also be meeting at 9:15 as I'd say Board of Equalization or Commissioners. But we'll call the Board of Commissioners to order if I didn't say that. We'll also be meeting at 9:15 as Board of Equalization. Both meetings follow the Open Meetings Act, a copy of which is at the entry of the room. We do reserve the right to take certain items out of order if need be. I think our first order of business is to open with prayer. Commissioner Bruns, please.
Join me if you would, please. Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you humbly with thanksgiving in our heart. Lord, we ask that you just bless this time together. Bless the decisions that we make. Let them be pleasing in your eye. Lord, we pray for a spirit of serving over each and every one of us. Lord, that as we discuss and contemplate the things important to Lincoln County, that we do so with you in mind. Lord, we ask for your wisdom and grace as we make those decisions as well. Heavenly Father, I pray for continued protection over those that stand in harm's way here locally, Lord, to continue our freedoms and the way of life that we enjoy. Continue to protect our first responders, our law enforcement personnel, those that seek to serve our community as well. Father, I ask that you continue to protect our military personnel, those that are serving here, training for conflicts abroad. Lord, keep those that are abroad in your heart and underneath of your protection as well. We pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. We'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the Commissioners meeting held July 15th, 2024.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of the Lincoln County Board of Commissioner meeting held on July 15th, 2024.
Second. A motion and a second. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Bruns.
Abstain.
Weems.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye. Next item of business is to approve the claims and treasurer's receipts as presented.
Move to approve the claims and treasury receipts as they've been presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Weems.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye. Next item appears to authorize the chairman to sign the Region 2 Human Services Interlocal Participation Agreement for the fiscal year 24-25.
We have a copy of this in our packets. I didn't have one.
I don't
No,
have
just
one.
that one.
I don't see one.
Just, this is the original.
I'll put a motion on the floor if you'd like.
Okay, thank you.
I would move, my motion would be to authorize the chairman to sign the Region 2 Human Services Interlocal Participation Agreement for fiscal year 2024 and 2025.
Second. Okay, let me read what this is because it wasn't in our agenda, and I also was curious. It's Region 2 Human Service Interlocal Participation Agreement for 24-25 behavioral health. Requested annual share $150,033.17. That is paid monthly. There's a breakdown of what each county pays. This is on a per capita basis is how this thing is arrived at. This is a little bit different. I thought we actually had something in the past other than this. and they were here. If we choose to, if we want to have them come and talk, I have no problem doing that at all. On the 28th of March, 2024, Region 2 Services Governing Board voted to approve the fiscal year 24-25 county interlocal participation amount in the amount of $422,516.69 for behavioral health match. Enclosed is a summary of the requested amount from each county. In addition, a payment form is included. Please choose the payment schedule, then sign and return one copy in the self-addressed stamped envelope. Thank you if you have any questions. So this is, I think, something that we've done every year, but I have no problems if we want to have them or have any questions, or if anybody has any questions here they would like to ask. I do sit on that board as our representative, and
So I suppose questions that I would have is what's the increase over last year, if any?
I'm going to be wrong when I say this. I think they voted a 3% increase, but again, as soon as I say that, I will be wrong. So maybe we could table this a week, have them come and make that request in person, if that's okay. Sounds like
I would
a good plan.
appreciate that.
Yeah, okay.
Tyler, have you had an opportunity to look over the agreement?
No, never seen it.
You
Okay.
never see it? That's unusual.
Okay, no.
Literally never seen it, so.
Okay.
So I think we'll do that. Let's just carry this over for a week. We'll make it, Tammy, would you make a request for them to appear? Okay, and maybe bring some information, what happened during the year and those kinds of things. Thank you. Send that back down that way. Next one is authorizing the chairman to sign the right-of-way application submitted by Dawson Public Power District. Morning, gentlemen. I think you know the procedure.
Jason
You'd be kind
Schultz,
enough to
Lincoln
introduce
County
yourself and
Highway
sign in, please.
Superintendent. Give the sign in, Tammy.
Oh, yeah, it's hidden. Right in that drawer right there.
So this is a permit from Dawson Public Power for an underground line. It'll be bored under our road. Most of it's on private land, but there is a crossing of a county road, which is East Island Road over in the Brady area.
Comments, questions? We do have a check in the amount of $200. And
How deep do you bore those? I know you told us before, but
Typically, we stay at least 4 feet below the bottom of the ditch, and usually we try to go deeper so that way when if you guys ever want to do work, that we're not a problem.
4 foot below?
Below the bottom of the ditch.
Pretty good plan.
We try to play along.
It certainly prevents a lot of issues in the future,
Yes.
for sure.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion that we authorize you to sign the right-of-way application submitted by Dawson Public Power.
Second.
a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Thank you.
Karen.
Thank you.
He's the only one that signed it.
Very good. Each page, Joe.
Okay.
This is the correct one. I think we signed them both. Did you take the other one out? No, you want that one. She like,
Bonnie hasn't signed it yet because she's outside and we just the hours change and that she predicted. This is the one she gave me.
so,
He ended up with 169 hours, 168.
so this had to amend it, so she'll re-sign it?
Yep.
Okay. This is the right. This is right.
Get the right file here, Chris.
Clippy goes too.
You have to sign this page too, Nikki, just the top one. Okay.
This is gonna replace it.
Okay. Thank you. We only have to sign the top page on this one. There's a correction.
Charlie just needs to sign his. Is that all Wes got to do?
Just the top page on that one.
Thank you. It's 9:15. We will recess as the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners, convene as the Lincoln County Board of Equalization. Again, following the Open Meetings Act, copy of, as amended, a copy of which is posted at the entry of the room. Our first order of business is to approve the minutes of the Lincoln County Board of Equalization meeting held on July 15th, 2024.
Move to approve those minutes of the Oregon Equalization meeting held July 15, 2024.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Weems.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Bruns.
Abstain.
Ruler. Aye. Hughley.
Aye. Next item, certificates of correction or refund is submitted by the county assessor. It appears that we have one.
Good morning, Julie
Good morning.
Stinger, Lincoln County Assessor. Yep, you have one in front of you that would be on a personal property return. Merrick's Ranch House sold the business, so we are accelerating the personal property taxes on that schedule.
Okay, so we do have a personal property tax and a 2024 personal property tax schedule in the amount of $183.40 for Merrick's Ranch House, I will entertain a motion to authorize the chairman to sign that.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we authorize you to sign the correction and refund as submitted by the county assessor.
Second.
Any discussion? That appears to be the only one, Julie, correct?
Yes.
Roll call.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye. Next item is a notice of property valuation change number 2024-130 as submitted by the county assessor. I believe we have a copy of that in our agenda.
Yep.
Can entertain a motion. That's on the Darlene Albrecht personal property changes in the amount of the land going from $3,198 to a new value of $0. The cattle shed was moved off or gone in 2024.
Mr.
This is
Chairman,
on real proproperty,
Yeah.
not personal
Oh,
property.
did I say, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
and it's just on the building only,
Building.
no land, just the building.
thank you.
Yep, thank
I
you.
would,
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the adjustment made on parcel number 62681.00 for Darlene Albrecht on the southeast quarter of section 81430, 163.85 acres, reducing the land value. Well, this is just on the real
Just the
property, right?
improvements, yep.
To 0.
Yep.
It was overvalued. The cattle shed is gone for 2024. And we sign.
second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? A roll call vote, please, Tim.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Julie.
Thank you, guys.
Next item is motor vehicle tax exemption application submitted by the county treasurer.
We have one form apparently from Two Rivers Fellowship, application form 457, 106 East 5th Street. Applications for a GMC truck 2024 Savannah van. Described as van will be used for church purposes, transporting to and from church events, mission trips, pulling or evangelism block party, traveler to neighborhoods and multiple family. Obviously, some completes. Frankly, can't read the narrative. It's been reviewed and approved by County Treasurer Alex Gerchulo. It'd be my motion to approve as well.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Weems.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Recess.
Thank you, Chris. We will recess as the Lincoln County Board of Equalization and reconvene as Lincoln County Board of Commissioners.
Thanks, Julie.
We wouldn't have. Thank you.
this payroll.
Why would we have two from register of deeds? Nicole, we have,
Isn't that supposed to be?
Are you feeling a little frisky today?
Yeah, I just want to let you know it's okay. Chris has only had to wake me up a couple of times.
and Nicole, this is the end of the payroll. Idea.
It's 9:25. Our next item is to discuss and consider a special designated liquor permit for the Golden Spike for an event to be held at the Golden Spike on August 2nd, 2024. Good morning, young lady.
Good morning, how are you?
Very good.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kristen.
Here, I even brought you guys some information so that way you have it for the week. So, as you know, we just have our annual Rail Days. Sorry, my name is Kirsten Parker. I'm Executive Director of the Golden Spike Tower. We are hosting our annual train festival coming up August 2nd through the 4th. One of the events that we like to do is Chamber After Hours, kind of teamed with a welcome to all of our guests that are coming in from international, out of state, and out of town. So kind of a fun little event we host in our courtyard. Yeah, it's 2 pages long because I have the little blurb about all the different events that are going on over the course of this weekend. So the one that we're talking about is that first one that's listed called Celebrate North Platte. So it'll feature North Platte foods, Nebraska foods, wines, and beers.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
So obviously, this is not the first time that you've done this.
No, it's
Have
the
you
annual
had any
one.
issues in the past?
No.
For the record, I do have a note here dated 7/22/24 from Sheriff Jerome Kramer, said there were no issues with the Golden Spike in the past and have no issue with this application.
Kirsten, I attended your event last year, and with the fence around the property, I felt like it was very well monitored.
Yeah.
And well attended. I look forward to going again this year.
Good. I hope you can join us. It should be fun. We're changing things up a little bit. Instead of doing 2 events out at the tower, we're doing one there and one at Prairie Arts Center. So that's why we only need 1 liquor license for this year.
Do we have a application down there we have sent through?
That's it. That's it.
I would entertain a motion to authorize the chairman to sign for discussion?
I would make a motion to authorize and sign where appropriate by designated personnel the special designated liquor permit for the Golden Spike for an event to be held at the Golden Spike on August 2nd, 2024.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Questions?
Is the event at the Spike the only one that will be serving alcohol?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, the other one is at the Prairie Art Center, but they have a full-fledged liquor license, so we don't have to apply for that one. We only have to apply for the one that's held on our property.
Any other questions? If not, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Bruns,
Aye.
Woodruff,
Aye.
Wheeler,
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a great-
Kirsten.
Thanks. Well, I try to say my insurance is always covered too.
That's a great lead-in.
It's 9:30. Our next agenda item is to discuss with, must be our representative, gentleman's name is Tanner Patera of Hub International Insurance, the Lincoln County Insurance Renewal, and I have a feeling Mr. Patera is probably going to leave today feeling pretty good as we'll list more.
Sure, you have copies. Okay, I brought extra copies and everybody has the updated reviews sheet and the weather sheet. So, Tanner Patera, Hub International, I live on 3821 Sugarberry Court.
Good morning, Tanner.
Good morning.
Morning. You had your homework last week, and are you prepared to give a
Yep.
report to the class? Thank you.
So, to catch up, Mr. Bruns, since he wasn't here last week, so the renewal, Travelers came in at 9.5%, but the one requirement was Travelers went from a 2 to 3% wind hail deductible as everybody with large property portfolios continues to push up more retention on the end user. So the biggest jump, if you looked at the pricing, was the buy down, because we went from, last year, we had a 2%, bought it down to 1%. So our exposure last year was 638,000. To go from 3% to 1% this year, 677,000, because we have inflation increases on the property values. What we've talked about, and I did this for other clients, is on the wind hail buy down, some carriers out there will do short term now. So you don't have to buy it for the whole year, because the odds of storms in our neck of the woods is pretty slim.
And I think I need to kind of interrupt and thank Commissioner Weems. Evidently has been in the agricultural business, had some experience with hail in the past, and maybe ask that we take a look at that. So thank you, Kent, for
Yep.
bringing
So-
that to our attention.
Yep, so I called the weather service to get kind of any sort of tracking on storms in the, what we would consider off-season. So, I mean, really, it can hail or have tornadoes any time of the year, but the frequency, obviously, as you get past, I mean, it used to be, hey, October 1st, you're fine. Now I would say it's gonna be November 1st to kind of get in the November 1st to basically March 1st. But I ran those reports and I sent the weather stuff, and it was super interesting that it shows the average number of tornadoes for the last 50 years per state, and Nebraska averages none in November, January, February, but one in December.
That is interesting.
It was just, I mean, it's super interesting. I worked with the Weather Service to try to get a report on large diameter hail, like I mean, the way the buildings are set up, it would need to be like 1.5, 2 inch hail to cause any damage to anything. And you'd have to run it by month. It was very, very cumbersome. So, I mean, to get through, I mean, that data I wasn't able to get. I mean, when you think about the way the county's buildings are set up, it's really gonna be a massive hailstorm like Cozad just had, which you're talking, I mean, baseball size hail, or it's gonna be a tornado. So, the annual cost for the wind hail through the carrier we used last year was $120. I found that carrier would only do a 6-month policy. They wouldn't do a 3-month. So I went to another carrier I've used before, and they'll do a 3-month. You can't do under 3 months. So we do 3, 6, or annual. And the 3-month premium actually came back at $22,000. So for the 3 months to run from August 1st to November 1st. And then, I mean, based on that calculation, if we were gonna do 6-month policy next year, it'd probably be about $60,000, I would say, with rate changes, if we looked at starting a policy and ran it from either March 1st or April 1st next year. So it would save, I mean, based on that, it's gonna save the county, if we are willing to take on more risk, 50 grand in premium. So the full exposure, if we have no wind hail in place, is 2.1 million. So, I mean, we've had multiple hailstorms hit county buildings in the last few years, and none have sustained any damage. I mean, and the policies, all policies include right now cosmetic hail exclusions, because any metal building with little dings on it, they don't want to pay anymore, because, I mean, for a while there, they didn't, and when somebody's gonna give you a $70,000 check for a building where you can't even really see the hail damage, you're not gonna fix it. So they just wanna get away from that. So, I mean, this is only wind and hail, so lightning, fire, water, I mean, any collision, all that still runs at our deductible of, I believe, 10,000. Yep, 10,000. So, I mean, I've had more lightning claims, I mean, you think of, and fire claims that have caused more damage than wind and hail. So based on the majority of the blanket of the $67 million in coverage comes from the building we sit in and the jail. I mean, so the rest of the buildings they're not a ton of exposure.
So on the wind hail thing, on the 3 and 6 months, et cetera, is the policy that we have before us now, tell me what that exactly includes for those?
Okay, so I put on the wind hail buy down section on the front page.
Okay.
I kind of put in there multiple options. So the last year's obviously is the middle one. The year before we didn't have wind hail buy down because EMC was doing 25,000, and they had been for a long time. So the far right column shows the cost to do a full year policy and the coverage. So they would pay basically 1.3 million anytime there would be up to 1.3 million before the policy triggers with Travelers. That would be 120. For the 3-month policy, it's still 1.3 million, but it's 22,000 instead of 120 for the 3-month policy. The total wind hail payable is the 1.3, and then our total exposure, if buying the wind hail to the county, would be 677,000-ish. I mean, it's gonna depend on the claim, but that is if a tornado came through and scraped everything, that's kind of our exposure. The easiest way to explain it.
Thank you.
So if we took the 1 year, we're looking at a total 17% increase over last year's premium. But if we move to the 3-month plus do the short term next year, I'm estimating 65,000-ish. I mean, that's just kind of a rough guess because I don't know what rates are gonna be in the spring. They're gonna go up because of all the wind hail we've had. But that would put us under 10% doing more of a strategic plan on what we want to do for wind hail exposure.
With the buy down.
With the buy down. Instead of doing a full year, the other caveat is the carrier that I did, the new carrier I used for the 3-month, they would do an annual, so that would be, I mean, the annual would be closer to 100 instead of 120 if we still wanted to do an annual. So that, that would bring it down versus the original, the 120 I got quoted from the current carrier, which will be our previous carrier, whatever route we go.
A 6-month would cover April 1st to the 30th of September.
So, I mean, at that point, you're a little exposed on each end. I mean, if looking at the major reports, I can't remember what March showed.
March was nominal.
Yeah, March is nominal, so is October.
Probably well is downtown, it's a risk we're willing to take then, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, insurance is risk, so the more you're willing to take, the less you spend for money. I mean, that's the thing. I mean,
And this would be saving us about 100,000.
it would save us, I'm saying it saves us probably at least 50, if not more moving forward. I mean, if we've got in the reserves a couple $1 million, I mean, the odds of, I mean, if you look at your claim history for the last 10 years, you've had one wind hail event that was about $20,000. From, I mean, from my, I didn't bring the loss history with us, but it is a very small, I mean, if we look at history. But Mother Nature is Mother Nature, so, as we know.
And Cozad's not that far down the road.
Nope, it's not.
It can happen here too.
Yep, it can. I mean, I wouldn't worry so much about this roof because I believe there's rock, it's rock ballast.
Yes.
I can't remember if the jail has rock on it or not. If the ones with rock, even in Cozad's hail, are fine. I mean, the wind took out some windows, et cetera. If the jail doesn't have the rock ballast, those are exposed in that kind of hail. There was a bank, I was told, that just got the roof done a week before the hailstorm, $500,000 roof, and completely got destroyed. So, I mean, metal buildings will hold up. I mean, it just depends on, I mean, the older metal buildings have such a thicker gauge than what we're building metal buildings for now because of cost. They hold up way better. The old Quonset buildings, I mean, those things, you gotta hit those things with bats to cause damage to the old school Quonset buildings. So, I mean, it's ultimately just a risk we want to do. These policies, I mean, the short term gives us the ability to, I mean, cover the higher exposure times and try to save some cost. Because, I mean, you figure 5 to 6 months of the year, those wind hail buy down policies in Nebraska are, I mean, you're kind of just burning money. I mean, that, and lots of people are not buying them because of that reason, so that's why the market is producing the short term option to say, hey, give us some premium, we're willing to take on the exposure.
So Tanner, I want to make sure I'm reading this right. Last year, our premium was 638,000?
Total premium?
Yeah.
It was 745.
And what will the total premium be this year if we go with the buy down?
With the buy down, with the full year, like as is we did last year, would be 874. The new one, I brought options that are in the red. The new number below is at 65,000, and that's estimating we spend with this buy down and a short term, because the short term next year will overlap 2 budget cycles. So that's where I kind of came up with the, I mean, does that make sense? Because, I mean, if we're doing 25, I would estimate a 50 to 60 for the 6 months next year, but we're gonna run through 2 budget cycles. So,
When does the policy take effect?
it'll take place on the 1st. Which I can proceed with the other ones if you guys want to think about it a little more. We just have to make a decision next week. The short-term policies are fully earned premium. So that means that once we buy them for the 3 months, if we change our mind and want to cancel, there is no refund, if that makes sense. I just want to, I mean,
I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, you're fine.
Does it make sense to just do the 3-month for the fall season here? And then
I think the plan is if
And
we're
look
willing
at
to
this.
take on the risk for the winter, which I think is a very low probability. I mean, it's also a very low probability I'll win the lottery, but occasionally I play. I mean, and then we revisit rates in February to look at, do we want to start a wind hail in March or April next year?
That's kind of what we talked about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm leaning towards, but.
I mean, it
Are you
saves
leaning
us,
towards that in the form of a motion?
the only thing I guess
I'm not
is,
the insurance expert.
yeah, I just don't know how you guys want to put it in the budget, because there will be an increase, I mean, I guess.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying, that's why I tried to forecast it with the 65-ish to help you for the budget.
So that 874 number,
The 816 number
or 816 number would be
includes 65,000 for wind hail for the whole
for the
year.
6 month.
Yeah,
Oh, that's,
well, that's what we'll spend on this budget cycle, if that makes sense.
okay, yes.
Yep, because 22 right now for the 3-month policy, and then obviously rates are gonna go up when we start a policy in either March or April. And I would assume that would be in the 50-ish range-ish, I mean, possibly, so I might be a little low, it might be less, I don't know. So, that's kind of where the number, I mean, it's more of a guesstimate on that, because if I could predict rates in the future, I'd figure out a gig that would be a little better than what this gig is.
So with what's before us, for my signature, or for the board chair's signature, if we were to make a motion to authorize the policy as we have it with a 3-month buy down, and then as part of the conversation, we could have revisiting the issue in the early.
Yeah, I would say I'll set it to just put it on the agenda to catch up and get quotes in February, and then we review in February.
Sure.
I think that's the best. I mean, and then also just the one thing to note is we are switching cyber carriers, that the price stayed about the same and the retention went from 25,000 to 10,000 by going from Cowbell to Evolve. So, which is, I mean, a nice win if something unfortunately would happen. I mean, cyber probably has the highest chance of having a claim, honestly, right now.
We
So,
didn't pass this down to the chair, but.
yep, I didn't,
Does he need this?
well, eventually I need signatures on multiple things, and sorry if I didn't put them all together. Can I just put those and get you to sign them next week or just sometimes during the week? If you want to just give me the go-ahead to proceed with the 3-month policy and renewing as presented, I can get started on that if that works for you guys. And then I can't remember exactly what all we need signed.
That's for the.
That's for the cyber. I will need that signed, and then for the, looking at the buy down to see if I need a signature.
So with your assumption, we should budget $816,000 for an insurance premium.
I would say you're in the 815 to 830 range, and that's not including audit. So that's the other thing is obviously we're gonna have a payroll audit, and we always owe a little more. So, I mean, I can't predict that piece until the audit's done.
So Tanner, this'll cover us July 1st to June 30th of next year, with a review in February to decide where we want to go with the wind hail.
Yes,
after.
yeah, it'll lock in all policy coverages for the year, and then we just revisit the wind hail buy down in February.
Can I ask, when's the last time the county had a review of all of our insurance coverage and maybe looked at
We
other
re-
options, or you do that every
Yep,
year?
we completely rebid that the last 2 years on every single line of coverage. And that's why, if you look at the pricing last year, the reason why we saved 10% last year is because we completely remarketed and we moved carriers.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
and then just, I guess I mean, thoughts moving forward, there are less and less carriers that are willing to do large property in western Nebraska and municipalities. So what we did in some cases is we've had to move to, I mean, instead of doing standard markets for property, we are starting to have to do excess markets, which means that Travelers, EMC, they all pay the Department of Insurance to do business in Nebraska. So if they would become insolvent, Nebraska, the DOI would pay any claims, take care of any coverage, okay? So there are companies out there that don't pay those premiums because they don't want to get admitted in every state because of cost. So they're called excess carriers, not admitted carriers. So if they dissolve, there is nothing with the state to help out. All the carriers we use are A++ rated, they're all financially sound. It's just that's the only thing I mean, that's what we're using, the excess market is what we're using for the wind hail buy down, because no standard market uses it. So, and it's actually underwritten by Lloyd's of London and the 100 different carriers that they use. So, just a little explanation on that.
Thank you, I appreciate
Yep.
it.
So, I don't know if anybody's ready to make a motion, but I have a question before they do that.
Yes, sir.
I have a form before me, right here, for signature.
Yes.
Okay.
That one, you don't have.
This is what came in, was this last week's perhaps?
Yeah, no, that is the wind
This
hail
current
buy down.
one,
So
that's
that
right.
is the terrorism rejection form that,
This thing is?
the sign,
I don't think so.
or is that the,
No, this is, oh yeah, this is Terrence Insurance Coverage Policy Disclosure.
yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yep, that's the terrorism rejection form. So, I think we reviewed this before, but terrorism coverage is required by law to be presented because of 9/11, because before 9/11, it was all excluded. For terrorism coverage to be triggered for a loss to occur, it has to be, I think, over $5 million in damage. And for a wind hail buy down, I don't think anybody can control the weather, so I'm not too worried about terrorism from a weather event.
There's some out there that think that you can.
I'm sure there is. You look on the internet, you can find lots of people who believe lots of things. But yeah, so if you have that, I need that signed and then the cyber page signed. And everything else I should not need a signature on. Everything else I can just renew.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I'd move that we approve the insurance renewal as presented with the short-term buy-down for wind and hail, and authorize your signatures where appropriate on the renewal applications.
Second.
questions or further?
Tanner, on the insurance proposal,
Yes.
location and the buildings. Building number 25 is unknown.
That is, I'm asking for clarification on that, because the schedule from long ago did not have a 911 address. So I'm confirming, we confirmed all those with Travelers last year, and I don't know why that one came through with unknown. The other thing we do need to add is I need to add the new building. Is the building done for
Yes.
emergency management? Okay.
Yes.
Is that the same location as the, it's right next
That,
door?
that was the one with the unknown, that we know it now.
Yeah.
That is the unknown one?
No, I'm kidding.
Well, now it'll be the known, so, because that
It's
is
right next
to
to-
the weeds department.
Yes.
In
Yep.
between weeds and the
Yep,
dive team.
the same section, I
Yep.
mean, same
Same
address.
property.
Okay,
It's all
we'll make
one-
sure.
all one.
I'll get that updated.
But the unknown, do we know what it is?
I'm not 100% sure, because we clarified all the addresses last year. I worked with Jason on that, because the old statement of values with EMC didn't have 911 addresses, and we updated all those. So I'll double check on that. Thank you for pointing that out. I did see that, and we were running through it. So I will correct that.
And 8 and 9 are to be determined. You're still evidently looking for addresses on those?
Oh, those should have been removed.
They don't exist?
Every 911 address we have is on here, that we clarified last year.
So just scratch 8 and 9 out?
Yeah, we'll get those updated.
And we do have the emergency building that we need to put on, correct?
Yes, I will add that.
And it is metal.
And is the Greenbrier facility on?
Yes, it is, that is,
Oh, 45?
that's 8,
45, yeah.
yep,
Okay.
that is the Greenbrier building.
That's all metal too.
Any other questions or discussion? So, since there are a couple of updates and corrections to be made only on the list,
Yep, the price won't change.
pardon me?
The price won't change, those are
No,
just.
no, I'm not even worried
Oh,
about the
okay.
price. I'm just saying that, I see no reason why the motion can't stand just as it is.
Yeah, the list is just the 911 addresses.
There you go.
Right.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote, Tammy?
Burns.
Aye.
Wings.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Woodruff.
All right.
All right.
for your work, Tanner.
No problem. Nicole, would you have the square footage on the emergency management building somewhere? Or one of you do? Somewhere? Okay, I'll email over that. That's one thing that we would like to have. Okay,
For
well,
36 by
Emergency management.
yeah, how big?
30, is it 36 or 38 by
50,
50?
something. I don't know. I don't know
have-
for sure.
I have it right here.
Wonderful. And as always, if any of you have any questions on any of it, just call, stop in, text, whatever works easiest for you guys.
Did your wife make it home safe?
Yes, they did, yeah. Yeah, Jolene got clipped by a semi right before I started talking last week and coming back from Colorado. And, yeah, she made it back. She stopped
This
at,
is
I found a
too
local
tiny
body
for my
shop.
eyes.
They zip tied it back together for her. She made it, so. And luckily, I mean, she couldn't understand why she was sore a couple days later. I was like, you got sideswiped by a semi going 60. It's going to be a little stiff. It's called soft tissue.
It's always,
Tanner,
day 3 is the worst.
Yep.
2,352 square feet,
2352?
that's what it says.
Should
I
have a
need
bath.
I need a magnifying glass for
That's
that.
okay. Does it have a bathroom in it?
no.
No,
No.
Okay, it's just storage building. Okay.
right now it is just a shell. It
You wanna see
doesn't
it?
have
That works.
electricity, water, nothing.
Wonderful.
We're working on that.
But yeah, so, yep, last Monday was a little. And the Colorado State Patrols and Brighton Police are not very helpful. The bumper was hanging off and they were like, you can just drive home, it's okay. She's like, I gotta drive 4 hours, but it'd be fine.
Alien wire and duct tape, huh?
Yeah, I was very appreciative of the nice body shop that put it back together for her.
Appreciate it, Tanner. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
If you need anything off of that,
No, that's
Tanner,
exactly-
I have a digital file
Yeah.
I can email you.
Oh, no, that, my picture will give me everything I need to send that in to get it updated.
Okay.
You guys have a great day.
You too, thank you.
See ya.
Tyler, do you have a reason for a closed session? Okay. We have any concerns or comments from our elected officials, department heads, or their representatives? Do we have anyone that wishes to give a committee report at this time?
I do. So we had our West Central Nebraska Development District annual planning meeting and everything this last week, and Michaela was nominated and voted in as the chair for that organization.
Really?
Oh, good. Congratulations.
So, extended congratulations to her.
Now you will have something to keep you busy for a while.
I'll get to practice for when Joe's absent a little bit, so.
No, you'll learn to do it right, so that'll be good.
I was willing to accept it because in the last 3 years, I have seen Amber Kuski grow as a leader of that organization. And it'll be a pretty small ask on my part. She runs a very well-oiled machine there, so
Yes, she
I look
does.
forward to serving in that capacity for her.
Good. Okay, anything else? We will recess as the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners and reconvene as the Lincoln County Board of Equalization. We'll be discussing 2024 property evaluation protest form 422. We will go until noon, and having said that, we'll take a 4-minute recess, at least, let the people get set up in here a little bit, and we'll go till noon. The rest of us will return that can at 1 o'clock, and we'll continue from there. Thank you.
You can stay for my hope, and I'll stay for everybody else's.
got your stuff down here already?
Hey, I know I just got the meeting after we, well, we won, but we'll play it later. That's 4 o'clock, that's
About how many you have? Marsha's?
All of it, once Marcia's
Yeah,
done.
good.
I'd say 150.
Yes.
She had last week.
Thank you.
Lisa, thank you.
Morning, Julie. Good. Morning, Henry.
How's it going this morning?
Hi.
What about
That's what Ashley said she counted.
Thanks, Jason.
We discussed having just a line item for RTUs and start until staff is up in the quarter. Something that he was missing was we did not give any consideration to experts when dealing with some building.
Good morning. Matter we go on your own,
Just this
the
year,
rest of them don't care if you want to go
we
through.
have to do this committees that's going
A meeting on the road. There's the rest of that.
And I don't know.
Okay, I'll find some of those two separate. Thank you. Call them, pass on back.
Front view of us. No, there's a glitch, so I'm just thinking our normal view. Which is what? Your back. Our back. Yeah, just them and your back. The sound is shutting off when I switch it.
You both sounds
So just leave it.
and you're our big winner today. I just want to let you know. Congratulations, Nancy. It is a good morning. And you are Nancy. Yeah. Joe Hughley would be coming to your place.
So I don't know, thinking, but I can do,
Just make sure somebody would.
that's probably a conversation we need to have in here.
Yeah, because everybody needs to know that that's something that. Thank you. We're not getting any return on those.
But he had done a great job. I was not impressed. Right there, that's it. Another problem, yeah.
We're not through with all the claims yet.
Nope.
Oh, it's your people, how you doing?
Just about.
If I said I need to say that I need small personal loan, I would be co-signing that. Make sure somebody goes around and I'll do that.
Glasses.
That's Michaela's fault.
What'd I do?
I said,
It's-
but the city mortgage here.
Oh,
Casey down?
I did not touch it. I did not touch it.
I'd rather be cold than be hot.
Feels amazing.
Usually I come in and look at it, oh, no, it's way too hot.
It's way too hot.
These have got 3 signatures on them, but that's.
Usually if I'm the first one to it,
I don't
I
know
turn
about
it to
those over
70.
there.
At
Which
least,
is
the-
like 65. Right. Because that's not work at all.
Wait, down 5 a.m.
usually it's 2 degrees warmer in here than what that says, but today they both match.
I mean, it's not bad, like I said, I'd rather be cold than hot.
It's easier to get warm than it is to get cool.
Boys and girls, we don't have to finish signing these. I haven't come out of recess yet, but before we start, so we might as well get them done. So,
Right.
let's see.
We
that
did,
is one signature.
like 3
Pardon me?
separate.
That's just
Usually
about
I
what
don't
was
hear
gonna
it
say.
in my bedroom on the
Do
north
that
side of the
start- get started
house, but
on
it woke
pitch
me up
quick
3
before
different
this.
times, raining pretty good.
I had a
I
half
didn't
inch.
look at the gauge.
I had half.
We did not, we didn't
We
have
coulda
any
needed it.
puddles. Yeah, your dryland corn was starting to look stressed along the edges, but it still looks pretty darn good.
Decent rain.
Somebody said there's another chance, either later tonight or later in the week.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter as long as my
Get a
people
lot of-
continue to lie.
Corn damage in your area, or was it further north?
In Logan County, it did. Hammered pretty hard.
I've heard some Stapleton places got hit hard.
There was a lot of wind damage in Broken Bow last week too. They had roofs tore off and buildings really mangled.
These all have 3.
Are these not sorted by whether they have referee or not?
These all have 3.
Okay, those are all due? Okay.
Those have 3, right? I'll let you whip on a couple of them, I'll keep right over here.
Take what you want and pass it on.
Let me finish getting these things signed first.
Do you have more than these,
Oh, yeah,
Nikki?
there's still.
Still.
Same here.
You got enough bundles?
I think so. We're good for a
Stop
while
there.
anyway.
Okay, we are out of recess. Couple of rules if I can. We'll be meeting till noon. We'll take a break for lunch from 12 to 1, we'll reconvene. And unless I hear different from this board, we'll plan on wrapping up somewhere around 4 o'clock today. If we-
I would like to remind you that the Inland Port has a meeting scheduled in
Yes.
this room at 2 o'clock.
We'll be wrapping up today about 1:50. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Made that easy. I appreciate the reminder. And that answers your question, Tammy, and I stand corrected. Jeez.
Are we still gonna break for lunch then, Joe, if we're gonna be done at 1:50? Are we still breaking at noon for lunch?
Just
I
so,
have to take at least a 30-minute break.
Okay. I'm just.
Yeah.
I think there's some people scheduled to come in, but I don't think she put exact time. She just told them anytime after 1.
How many people? Do we need to
Call
contact
three.
them?
3.
Because those are gonna take,
on Tuesday, we did not take a lunch break. We worked straight through. We-
Well,
we
that's
took
where
a-
it was, that's where it was supposed to be on Tuesday.
Okay.
but if they're all coming this afternoon, maybe we should have somebody call them.
That's the reason we don't have to work very hard
Give them a
today.
heads up so they don't show up in the port
I'd be
meetings already
curious to
in
know how
place.
many we did. We did a lot.
I had that 120, she told me, I don't remember what.
Okay.
Yeah, I think,
How many are in a person?
I think on Tuesday, the 3Ws did about 129 of them.
Hey, that's right.
120
The
something.
WWW.
129.
Yeah, the 3Ws,
129.
World Wide Web. No, that's not right. That's not right.
I'd hate to have them come in at 2 o'clock and not,
Right.
that'd be,
I wonder if we can contact them and tell them to all be here at 1 o'clock?
would be here tomorrow,
If one or the other.
because we're not gonna get done today.
No, and we need to make sure we give them as much notice as we can.
But
So are we going to ask Tammy to make that call?
there's Marcia and Renner,
Do you have the,
and I don't know about Hübner.
I thought Hibner was coming in.
Well,
Well, if you've got-
all I can ask is let's try to give them as much advance notice as possible because people, because we change, can't expect them to change on a dime.
Would it be possible just to move them to Tuesday morning?
I think that'd be a question for them probably too, wouldn't it?
Let's see if they are agreeable to that. Robin says the 23rd, which is tomorrow. Marcia's. And then Renner's has DOE on it, but Hibner's does not. Meeting with the board, possibly saying 23. Is there someone in your office that can call them and make sure? A couple of these look like they might be here tomorrow.
And so if they are tomorrow, let's just confirm a date and time, okay? And that way we'll have done our job. And perhaps Tammy isn't there, could help too if you need now, Nikki. Perhaps Tammy could assist that. She's in her office there if you want to say.
See if we can pin them down to a time tomorrow too, so we know. There's one here.
Good morning.
Ma'am, what, could we help you with something?
Yeah, I was gonna represent Tobias and Hazenhours.
Oh, okay, all right. Give us about 1 minute and we'll be able to address that. Are those the ones that we're talking about?
Do you want us to
what's that?
Different ones than the ones we were just gonna.
These are different than the ones we were gonna
And
call.
did they have a referee? It doesn't appear to have a referee.
This one
Referee
had
will
one.
change information
Okay.
provided.
And
They have a
you're-
referee for that one, so.
Okay.
Referee for this one also?
No,
Oh, that's not
the-
that.
That's that one.
This one. Yes, these are just the two of them, Nikki?
Yes.
Okay. These two, and they both had referees.
Okay.
Do you want us to?
I'll just take one of them, maybe or both, it doesn't matter. If that's okay.
Works for me.
When you're set up and ready to go, Julie and Nicole, give me the wink and we'll get started. The first one that I have before me is number 83. I have 83 and 84. What number do you have, Kent?
I have 271. This is,
Okay,
Pat is going to call them and try to get them to come in tomorrow morning at like 9:30, 10:30.
That's fine.
Kind of stage them.
And we've got a young lady here that wants to address, are you on the Hazenauer properties?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, LLC.
yes, okay. I think we'll take that first when we're ready. They have both properties, 83 and 84, so when you're ready at the assessor's desk, give me a nod so we'll get started here.
Did you have that blurb that you needed to read? Did you have the blurb that you needed to read?
I think it's that one right there.
Thank you.
Which one are we doing first, Joe?
Well, the first one that we will do is 83. I'm just going to remind us that we are still meeting as a Board of Equalization and following the Open Meetings Act as amended, a copy of which is posted at the entry of the room. All 5 commissioners, Williams, Woolard, Hughley, Bruns, and Woodruff are present, including the assessor Julie Stanger and deputy county clerk Nicole Fisher. The following appraisal staff will be available to assist: Charity Farley, Henry Vogt, and Ashley Ruccillo. Copies of the county profiles for residential and commercial agricultural property are on file, as well as the assessors, and there's the assessors worksheets. Notice was given May 21st, 2024. A certificate from the Lincoln County Assessor was received and filed by the Lincoln County Clerk. Said certificate indicates that Lincoln County Assessor has completed the revisions for the 2024 assessment rolls for real property in Lincoln County. The commissioners, after we've had a chance to individually review the protest, the assessor's recommendations, the referee's recommendations, and make any notes or comments to themselves, the board will collectively vote on each individual protest. That's the procedure we will be following. The first one I will read in, and ma'am, if you would like to come up and sit over here on this side, you're certainly welcome to, okay? First protest is protest number 83. It's Hazenauer Acres LLC, CO Rhonda Tobiasen. They did see a referee. The property number is 0107695.0. It's the south It's the north half of 261031, 315.56 acres. And for their notes, the attached memo. I want to make sure that what I'm looking at, Mrs. Tobiasen, is what I am supposed to be looking at. I see some photos, but do you have a written thing in here somewhere,
For,
the protest, because there's nothing in here, and I'm trying to figure out what exactly.
This is here.
That's from,
Oh, that's from Julie.
Oh, okay, this might be Van Velsen, okay. I think I might be getting here.
it's a handwritten.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. This is June 17th, 2024. Says we're protesting the evaluation for 2024. We are not sure we will be getting the full CREP payment because one member took out bankruptcy, jeopardizing our government payment. We will have to pay back all previous dividends with interest. We're still in court battling the easement issues with our neighbors as we don't have a legal easement into the property. As of today, we have paid out $7,733.23 for legal assistance by lawyers to get this corrected. We are hoping to get this settled shortly. This would let us get into the property safely and be able to get farm equipment into the farm. We're working on the final details of the mediation agreement. We sold to Pivot to get into the CREP program, so no longer have them available to irrigate if we can't get the CREP reinstated. Thanks for considering the problems for this next year. Rhonda Tobiasen. You have the enclosures, number 1, USDA Farm Services Agency, U.S. Department, a letter that we are not get CREP payment for the next year, or it may be reduced. Number 2, copy of our mediated settlement. Number 3, bills from lawyers. Van Velsen, $1,518.19, $1,518.19. Bruliette's office, $6,215.04 for a total of $7,733.23. Mass Harris Road and Ness, that neighbor's Pivot operates on road, and pictures for that. All of that information is enclosed. I think we have that pulled up on the screen. We can glance at for a second if anybody has any questions or wants anything enlarged. I'm going to read the recommendations by both the assessor and the referee. The assessor is recommending no change, and I'll find the property sheet to read that, those values in correctly.
Mr. Hughley, can I say, we did get that in court, that we are going to get it for this next year, the CREP. We are going to get the CREP payment, but it's just for this next year. But I don't know, I think there was some misunderstanding that we got money also from, other than the CREP payment, this is all we get. We don't, I mean, we've gotten some grass, and we've also gotten something for haying, but we've only gotten it once, and they probably said we'd get it once in 10 years. So that is incorrect that we get double money on this. This is all we get.
Okay, let me, I gotta find one more thing and read this in, and it seems like it's gonna be the last thing I find here. It's usually in one certain location, and I'm having a hard time coming up with it. So, bear with me. It's a note from the assessor's office that will have those things broken down. This is crazy. Julie, I'm trying to find the appraisal sheet that has it broken down for land and,
That one,
no, not this
Not
one.
that one.
Shit, not that one. Gotta be right up in here.
Should be typed in on the side of the protest too.
It's not on the protest. The amounts aren't. Here, I think I feel it. There we are. Okay. So for 2023, okay, 2024 is what I think this is supposed to say, it doesn't have it written in there. The land is 69,000, that's not right, $696,982. The buildings are $34,968 for a total of $731,950. That's how that's broken down, all right? And I'm gonna mark that with a bent corner because that is probably the hardest time I've had finding that sheet. Okay, we have those amounts written in. I'm gonna read the comment from the referee. Subject is in CREP contract for 11 more years. This program does not allow irrigation. The soil conditions on this farm are poor. The property should be valued as dry land. The value on the ground is too high and should be valued in a similar fashion as to other counties. Comparable sales of the ground of the CREP do not exist, and this is testimony from the protester. Comparables, none. Additional comments, none. The referee's recommendation, no change. Land, $696,982. Improvements, $34,968 for a total of $731,950. The information provided by the owner was not sufficient to warrant a change of the value. Now, please go ahead with whatever you would like to add to that.
Well, from the FSA office, I have how they evaluated the soil maps, and they have us down for 85% are sandy soil. And that's why we got into the program, so we could plant grass and build this soil up. And there, I don't know, I think it is high how the soil samples are coming in.
Okay,
They're
so
comparing
question for the assessor, and I didn't mean to, do you have something different than what she just said?
No, the biggest percentage of this soils that we have is the 1895 and the 1899. I didn't figure the percentages, but total irrigated acres are 270, and I have the one at, it's called Valiant Loam Sand Sloped, 56.35, and the other one is Valiant Sand Rolling at 88.09 acres. So that's over 130 acres there on just those two soil types. 9002 is also one of the higher ones, and it's called Fine Sandy Loam, and it's 48.56 acres. So we definitely do, the soil maps that we were given to update in 2019 came from the NRCS.
Okay, so those two seem to make sense. The question, is there a question with regards to irrigated then now?
I know that their concern is that several years ago, we did have this ground valuated as dry land because they had told us they weren't irrigating it. Once we became aware that it was in the CREP program, then the Department of Revenue has really been pushing counties to identify CRP and CREP in their counties, which has been very difficult. I've sent out letters. Fortunately, Hazen Hours is one that came forward very, forth that they have it in CREP and CRP. We've worked very diligently, close with them the last few years to get it identified. They brought me their FSA map, so we have each little CRP acres, the 6 point here, and so we've done that, and I think there's no question as far as how we have it coded. I know they don't agree with the value of the CREP. My CREP, and like I said, was kind of some direction between the Department of Revenue because I am the first to admit we have very little identified in my county, so I do not have sales to look at to compare with. So what I did was I took the average value of my irrigated and the average value of my dry and came in right in the middle in between for my CREP. Because if they were to sell the ground, technically, they could sell it as irrigated ground. The new owners can buy out the contract.
At a high penalty.
Yes.
At a very high penalty.
There is, because this is something I was not aware of until this year.
And I can show you
I
penalties.
thought that they could still farm and plant a dry land crop in there and get the dry land crop off of there. Plus, the payment from FSA for not irrigating. But that is not true. They can only put it to grass. Because I did verify with Bruce Sokol that they cannot plant anything but grass there. On very drought years, if it's considered, he says, occasionally they will allow them to possibly hay it or graze it, but it has to be considered a drought year to do that. So they, she's right when she says they probably, they typically don't get any other income off of this, but their FSA payments for not irrigating it. But in my, I know the counties down south where this is very prevalent, they have a lot of crepe ground. Many numbers of these went to Turk. There was an assessor down there, which I think has since retired, who was very adamant that she left it at irrigated value. And because she said if they sell it, they can sell it as irrigated, and they could buy out that contract, which, like she said, they can, and Bruce said they can, but what we would have to do, you would have to pay back
all the money that we've got so
back
far.
to the beginning to buy out the contract.
And there's a 25% penalty too.
I don't remember.
And they
if
do
you
it on
said
the interest, and it's whatever the interest is in there, we have to pay all that back.
Yeah, the owner would have to pay that back if they did.
So just me thinking out loud, not the board, because the board collectively is going to vote. This is just me thinking. Regardless of what the previous assessor may have done in a southern county, I would disagree because it's just not that simple. Obviously, if there's a big penalty, there's some kind of reduction. What that reduction is, I don't know if anybody knows. That's probably the question before us. So, any other testimony that you wish to give, ma'am?
Yeah, the penalties do scare us, and that we're at the Medicine Creek, and we're within 3-mile radius, that because of the Kansas, they were in need of water, so that's how we qualified for that too. So we can't use any water, so that, and we just barely got in, but they told us there'd probably be no comparables because we're right in the right area to get that.
Gotcha. Okay. So unique thing, and
And that's what I kind of did with the CREP too, or the CRP, Joe, as well. I mean, they have some CRP, not near as many acres on this, but I took the grassland and the dryland value and averaged them and come right in the middle for the CRP as well. So it's CREP value a little higher than the grass, but it's lower than the dryland.
and so for the CRP, is that how you did that for everybody in the county? Okay, so that was uniform throughout Lincoln County.
And there was your brother, Moses?
Yes.
Was in with I'm blank on your first name.
Randa Tobias,
yes. Randa and her husband last week and had some maps, and he had been and talked to Hitchcock County. In Hitchcock County, I think when she valued her CREP is very similar to what mine is. She took the average of the irrigated and average of the dry, and she comes in the middle. Now I have the whole West Central District. I think there's 3 of us counties that did that. The rest of them, they value it at irrigated value. And I'm like you, Joe, I don't know if that's right because of this. But the Turk cases are all coming back, valuing them as irrigated.
Hitchcock, she did say, she said, we have way better soil. She said, you guys do have
The sandy soil. And
it's 85%.
Yeah, and that's why,
And that I guess is our complaint. It's like we're in such bad soil. I mean, 85% sandy soil is the farm. And we're trying really hard to get that built up. And we really feel like putting this grass, and here was the thing for us to do, to build it up and get a road, an easement in there to bring the value up. And then you know what? They bring it up. I'm more than glad to pay these higher taxes, but right now, it's hurting us to pay those high taxes.
Julie, quick question. It sounds to me like the soil types are all sand soil types in your valuation.
Most of the definitions, not all of them have the word sand in them. Some of them do. Hirsch soils, and there's some
one
sand
spot
soils. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying that.
A lot of Valentine in there. Yeah, Valent sand. You'll see some of my bigger numbers have those low. Those are bigger numbers,
You've got,
that's the
So-
same balancing.
5688 that are Valentine sand on that parcel.
This is Anselmo fine sand.
Yeah, so that's right behind it.
So I have more questions on access to the property. Currently, you have no access to the parcel? Is that what I'm understanding?
We're using that a road that we used for 100 years, that Massey Harris Road. The Hansons bought the property down below us, and they have a pivot on there. And they allow us to go through there. Last year, she decided she didn't want us to do that, so she tore up the road. So we're in court right now because there isn't. We can go through our pasture, which is terrible. We call it Rattlesnake Canyon, and I won't take my car on that road. She said, well, you got property, you can. Or we could go around, and we've tried that when Ralph died, and none of the neighbors want to allow us an easement there. So we have it in court right now. We have it where maybe on top there, we're going to make a road so we can get in there, but we need to get an easement in there, a legal one.
So
You
it
can kind of
fit-
see from the imagery, the road they used to use going straight up through the pivot.
Just
And that's
straight-
the one she was
straight
saying that the
north.
owners of the pivot
Tore it
no
up.
longer want there. So I think
We
you're
heard that
using
one
that one
last
off to
year,
the
too.
west, right? That little
No, we're
trail
still
road.
using Massey Harris Road. She's allowing us to do it. But we have it that at the top of her pivot, we're trying to get a road through there, then come down and so we can go into the farm. And we have it in court right now. The only thing is she doesn't want us to use any cultivated acres, and she wants to be able to spray out on our road. And they're kind of
Because
questioning
you're wanting
that.
to make your road go up on
Yes.
the outskirts of the pivot. So the one, the piece to the west there, that little trail road, see where the little house is? Is that being used to get up?
I'm not.
You see her mouse moving around up there?
Yeah.
That trail road, are you using that to get up to where the machinery parks? If you scroll it
Is that
down,
going to
it looks
the-
like it goes right up to your machinery shed there. Yeah, see it follows up
Goes
to the
kind-
north.
No, that goes through that canyon. That's horrible. This goes up at the top of her pivot.
Okay, it just looked
So
like that was a
you're
road that was
talking about the
being
one
used.
over, right up to the right of the lettering above her pivot is the one you're talking about. Move the cursor to the right.
Go right up to the pivot.
I'll go straight up.
Can you move the image to the left?
No, it's right here. See that road right there? This is the road we're using. The
That's-
ones
that-
we've used for 100 years.
That's what I'm saying, yes.
Yeah, that is the road. We have some kind of it's a road, but it's really bad, and my brother about upset his truck on that. That has got, you can't, not unless we spend a lot of money, we could get a road, but it's.
And is that
What
your-
we're trying to do is to get a road, it's right around
Right-
here.
right around the
Right
pivot.
around here at the
They own
top.
that piece?
And it's all, and, and then go right in there. And she agreed to it until
I think it's.
cultivated acres, she's arguing a little bit, but I think the lawyers are pretty close to figuring it out that, she could shut off her gun or something and not want it
Yeah,
grow.
they're wanting to do a land swap and
Oh, hold it,
swap.
hold it, hold it.
They own
Whose
it.
land is that?
Whose land?
Yes,
This
where the
is-
road would be on. We're
That is-
outside,
that
outside
is
of
on-
the pivot.
That's on ours.
Okay,
This is
so
on
this
ours.
little chunk is yours.
Right.
So, so actually, it looks to me like, unless I'm wrong, and I'm wrong to him, so I break my neck.
Oh, lower chunk.
Is this little piece right here your land?
Yes.
Okay, then her prop is on your land, is that what you're saying to me? See that, see the
Oh,
circle
yeah.
goes over your land?
You can't 100%, guarantee that boundary line is drawn in 100%
That doesn't
accurate,
look
Joe,
right.
so I'm not.
The boundary
Is that-
line does not look right.
Because it goes around the top of her
That
pivot
makes sense.
and then comes down. And we're
Yeah.
gonna trade some land across the creek for some land down close to the place to let us, allow us into our property.
So are you thinking, ma'am, that maybe this line in your mind
Yeah.
is over here a little
Yeah.
further?
Joe, the outline red is owned by Hanson. They don't own that with its outline.
Okay, so
That
she
is
is
not
saying that
theirs.
is Hanson land, not your land.
That's not Hanson's
The
land.
one that's outlined in red right now.
No, that's the new proposal. That's where we want to take That's where we're gonna put the pivot, or not the pivot, but the road. That is our land. There's just a little bit right there, and what we were trying to do is just have her be able to, you know, we were trying, actually, we're gonna give her $3,000 extra to use some of that land to make that road, and that's in negotiations.
See, this is your map here that you guys gave me this
Right.
FSA. This boundary, this is Hanson's, correct?
Mhm.
So that red piece that's outlined right there,
It's right here.
right, and that's not yours
Yes, it is.
right now. That's from.
Unless, ma'am, are you saying because of the court mediation or settlement it is that what you're saying? Or are you saying previously you think it was yours?
It's on this side. These two pieces here.
Yeah, there's across the creek where we're gonna swap that, but she's given us land at the bottom here to take to go into the property.
Well, this is the FSA map you provided me, and none of these acres here are provided to me that you own. Everything that you own that I have done is in this area, which does not include this little piece here that's
Well, this
highlighted
right here,
there.
this is where the road is, and it goes over here. She might have some, here's where the pivot goes, she might.
Okay, thank you. So we're gonna have to kind of put an end to this other, wrap it up, questions the board might have, land dispute being in question. Where are we
One thing
going?
I guess I do want to get on record, because that was what Moses' concern was when I started about Hitchcock County. The only thing she did different from me was she broke hers down, took the average of the irrigated and the dry. She did it by individual soil types. So, and I didn't. I took the average value of my irrigated and the average value of my dry. I did figure it like, you know, Moses.
Gotcha.
I went in and double checked and figured it individually by soil type. The one I was $3.42 difference in taxes, and the other one was $30 difference in taxes by doing it individually.
Okay,
which
but
is-
you haven't done that throughout the county, so
I
that
have
brings
not.
up an equalization thing, so it
Exactly.
would be nice to continue doing the way we've
But I mean,
done.
going forward, if I
Yes,
really thought
sure.
it was a huge difference for next year, I would say I would do that in a heartbeat, but it's very, very minimal.
Okay, I've read this in.
Have you
Do you have-
have you read in what the evaluation they're protesting and what they're asking for?
No, but I am, and thank you, Jerry, for saying that.
Because that I don't know.
This is kind of confusing to me. It appears that the current land and buildings is at 731,950. It looks like they've requested it be 734,000
So almost 2,000, a little over $2,000 more.
more. Is that you're asking for it to go up? So, could you step forward and look at this to make, here, I'll bring it to you, ma'am.
So I have a copy here, Joe, too.
Is this, did you fill this out?
Right here.
Okay.
Is that 7:3?
Looks to me like it's 734. That's what it says, 734 you marked over. It looked like you had 744.
Or 704, I thought it was.
No, that's not an O, I guarantee.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Shoot.
Because you're asking for it to be about $2,900 more.
Well, I was thinking it'd be the same or less. That was my whole plan. So I don't know. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, just wanted to make sure that
Yeah.
that what I was reading is what you actually wrote. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know why I wanted more.
we've heard the testimony. It would be my motion that,
No, that's not right.
all right, would be my motion number 3. I move to accept the recommendation of the assessor and referee, which indicates no change at this time. Whoop, that's not correct. It should be insufficient evidence Where is that? No,
Five.
What number?
Number five, maybe?
Number 5?
Because there's a referee involved.
Well, there is evidence, so,
Yeah, it just says it
Evidence
does not.
presented.
Insufficient.
Evidence does not warrant a change.
yeah. So it'd be number 5, which indicates no change at this time. Evidence presented does not want to change. Thank you, Kent. That would be my motion.
Second.
Joe, I'm not 100% sure. Did you read in what the referee, I mean, I remember you reading in what she said, but because I didn't see what the
Yeah.
referee.
I
He
did
read it.
read that
You
in.
did read that in? Okay,
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I must have missed it when I
Yeah.
was sorting through my stuff.
Yeah, and she had the exact same values as you, and her information was provided to the owner was not sufficient to warrant a change or decrease in value.
Okay.
So we have both the motion by, or a recommendation by the assessor and the referee, which indicates no change is insufficient evidence to warrant a change. That is my motion.
I seconded it, but I have a question.
Please.
Do you have access to that parcel? Whether it be improved or not improved, do you have access to the
For
parcel?
3 years. For 3 years, we can use that road. Then-
So we're only looking at this year, so.
Yeah, it's in limbo. It really- Yeah. Yeah, that, yeah, we went to litigation, and that's what they allowed us, 3 years to use that road and to build that other road.
And they know if there's any change to in the court case as far as the CREP contract is, because that is still kind of in court too. They got it for this year, but they all know if the court decision goes
Indeed.
against them and that changes, then definitely let us know right away so we can get it corrected for that year. So
Okay.
we've had that
I don't know,
discussion as well.
Toby's in here now, he could probably explain that
Toby,
better to me, the road.
I'm gonna explain where we're at, okay? We've heard your testimony. Randa's done a wonderful job. We spent quite a lot of time on it. I made the motion that we leave it as it is right now for no change based on all the evidence that we have. And that, that's both what the assessor recommended and also when the referee saw it, recommended. I want to correct a statement that Randa made that she wrote down that she's requesting $334,000. Her verbal testimony was that no, she would like it to be at what it currently is or less. And I just want to say that was a verbal testimony right in. So that's where we're at. The board is just preparing to vote unless there's any other questions by this board.
He was asking about how Hanson's, if that land, they were making the road,
Yeah.
and she says it's all Hanson's road, but isn't it according to the pivot?
We've got the map,
Oh, you got
Toby,
it.
that shows that.
Yeah,
It's
this,
still Hanson's that goes
Yeah.
out around there.
yeah, yeah, and we were working out a trade. We've got,
Right, and she
Yeah.
presented that really, really good.
yeah,
We're trying
right,
to swap.
yeah.
But this piece is still Hanson's as of
Yeah,
right now.
right
The one
now,
that's-
that is
That you had
Hanson's,
highlighted
yes.
in red
Okay.
earlier. That one right now currently that's the one that they're thinking, trying to make it.
Right, gotcha.
negotiate, do some trade.
Maybe a little swap there, okay. Any other questions before this board votes?
One last question.
Please.
Joe, Julie, did you put your letter on your percentage valuation guidelines from the statute?
I am.
Is that attached?
I
Sure I
think,
did.
I think I saw it is, yes it is. No, I know it is, Kent, I've read it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, I didn't mean
I mean
for you, I think yeah, here it is, right here.
I mean, that, just for the record, it's.
I will,
it's
thank you.
appropriate that you understand the state statute is kind of binding our hands as far as how far you can't deviate from that 69 to 75.
And that's a good point, and I'll read that in. This is a letter from the assessor. Recommends no change, says the protest submitted is on an improved ag parcel located in Market Area 3. Market Area 3 is currently at 70% of market value based on sales in the current 3-year sales ratio period. Nebraska is currently a market value state, so I'm unable to make any adjustment based on the production or income generated. Per Nebraska statute, I have only valued based on the required 3-year current sales. Market Area 3 was previously not in compliance at 68% before I did my adjustments to Area 3 ag land values, raising the dry and grassland values. I had many sales in Market Area 3 during the required 3-year sales ratio period, and now indicate that current 2024 ag land values fall within the required statutory range of 69 to 75%, coming in at 70%, which is really still on the low end. Per FSA math provided by the conversation with the owners, all acres are currently classified correctly and no evidence was provided to warrant any kind of changes for the building at this time. Therefore, I'm recommending no change to the parcel at this time, as the evidence provided was not warrant change. Julie Stinger. So thank you for reading that in.
And we run into this all the time because that's state statute, and the Tax Equalization Regulatory Commission, who looks over our work, and any citizen can go to them and protest our findings, and then they have the last word. And sometimes they change what we do, but most of the time they don't, because Julie and all assessors in Nebraska must comply with that state statute. That guideline comes from state government. And Turk is the organization that slaps our hands if we get out of that. And that's where the Board of Equalization task is. That's what we are challenged to do. So if we start deviating from those percentages, we're out of bounds. We're simply out in left field, and we're on our own. And those typically we get more nasty letters from Turk that we're not raising values enough than the other way around. And that's, since I've been on the board, we've tried our best, but that's one of the things we're bound by statute to comply with, just so you know that.
And I'd like to add, Julie and her team does a great job in keeping us in the lower part of that space that they give us to work. It's 69 to 75, and she's consistently 70, 72.
You're talking the percentage of the value?
Yes.
Percentage of the market value.
The percentage of the market values.
85% you said is the type of soil.
Yeah.
It's 85% sandy. Yeah, we're talking valuation.
Yeah, we're talking the value.
With your average, or are they considering this 85% of your property?
No, we got that, the 85% already, the soils and stuff, and that's all correct.
Yeah, we looked at that.
I don't mean to be short, it's just that we've been on it a long time. Thank you, Tori.
That one is sandy, 48, so I got the sandy acres identified. We get them at, our soil maps come from the NRCS, same places, the FSA.
Other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Bruns?
Aye.
Woodruff?
Aye.
Weems?
Aye.
Wheeler?
Aye.
Hughley?
Aye. No, we like to hear, I'm not even going to write on that one, but I'm going to go to the next one while they're here. It's protest number 84. It's Hazenauer Acres LLC, care of Randa Tobiasen, parcel number 0103630.00. It's part of the east half of the southwest quarter and part of the northwest quarter of 261031, 104.37 acres. Again, ma'am, I'm going to read this in. The total land value right now, there are no buildings, but the total land value is $126,793. You're requesting that it be changed to $128,000, which is more than what it currently is, and I'm sure.
Sorry, I misunderstood that.
No, that's okay, but I wanted to read it in that way, so, and I know you wouldn't be protesting if you didn't want some kind of reduction, but I have to read it in the way you filled it out. Okay, but, all right. She has attached memos and enclosures, and there are very, the similar kinds of things that we had talked about, the sandy soils, those kinds of things. We also have a referee that the testimony by Mrs. Tobiasen, by Moses Hazenauer, person representing testimony. This would be Moses Hazenauer. This property is in the CREP program. A portion of the ground is rented. Subject has poor soil. The recommendation is no change by the referee, which reads, the information provided was not sufficient to warrant a change. Recommends leaving the land at 126,793. It would be my motion that we follow the recommendation of both the assessor and referee number 5. After testimony evidence presented to the assessor and referee indicates no change at this time as the evidence presented was not sufficient to warrant a change.
Second.
We have a second. Now, discussion, if you want to have further discussion, board members.
What we're talking about is the areas that are in red, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the parcel that's in question right now.
And how many acres is that again, Chairman?
126, 104.37 acres.
And what was the reasoning behind asking for the reduction?
Well, it was kind of the same, oh, and I also need to read into the record that Julie had a letter in, which was previous letter that I read about the 70% market value in market area 3. She'd previously been at 68%, raised it, and just got into compliance at 70%. I'm thinking that the only thing that I see, I'm wondering if that was part of the,
I changed to a different year imagery so you can tell a little bit better. But the pivot, the previous parcel they were protesting, part of that pivot comes down into this parcel. So there is some crap property on this one. There is also some CRP ground on this one. And, so they protested this one as well because they don't agree with my crap valuation. So I believe that's probably why, they protested this valuation as well.
that really
Thank
is,
you.
if you look at the map, they really have it broken out well, soil types and,
Yeah.
10 acres of 3.56 acres, 9.2 acres, 556.
Yeah, they have brought in, like I said, very detailed FSA maps, and we've went over everything. The coding, I think we got all that taken care of the last couple of years.
And that
Trying to
looks
get
like that's
everything
pretty well
pinpointed
taken care
As
of.
far as if it's classified as grass or dry or crap or CRP, I don't think that's the issue at all. I just think they're not agreeing with my valuation too.
And you
So-
used the same formula for valuing this as you did the previous parcel that we talked
did.
about?
And I'm thinking that was part of that testimony that says attached memo and four enclosures, that referred back to this bigger package, didn't it, with the, okay, right, the previous information we
You
read.
said there's some CRP, is that the upper left-hand corner? This piece here?
Yeah, that one's the FSA map says CRP,
Okay.
CRP there.
Okay. Are the corners CRP or crap? I thought the corners were included in the crap.
Well, the map that you guys brought me, they say CRP, so I'm sure that's how we have them.
Okay, well, that's
Yes, thank you, Julie.
yeah.
No, their FSA map does say CRP on them, so that's the way they are classified. If you don't mind, my crew's gonna be in here for a minute, but I want to step back to my office and show them a couple things on this.
Okay, but I'm going to wrap this vote
Yeah,
up if we
that's
can.
fine.
If there are no further questions, roll call vote.
Bruns,
Aye.
Woodruff,
Aye.
Weems,
Aye.
Wheeler,
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye. Thank you guys for coming in and thank you for the information. And we did note that you weren't trying to have it raised, that it was just written wrong. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, these, you think
It's
this taxes
confusing,
are
a lot
gonna
of
keep
paperwork.
going
Thank
up?
you.
I don't-
Thank you for your effort, ma'am.
Yeah, no money for
Please, somebody
fence or
else.
anything.
Go.
Go ahead, Ken.
Okay, you have one, I guess. Oh, no, were they gonna be here and we're here?
No, that one.
Thanks. Thank you.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Protest 271. Rodney R. and Jill M. Lamb. The property ID is 0007010.00. Further described as part of the Allura addition, East 117 to Lot 19, 2421 Burlington Boulevard. Protested valuation is an aggregate of $264,119, requesting a total aggregate reduction to $205,709. This went to referee as well. Mr. Lamp writes, there have been no major improvements to the property since 14. Our taxes have been going up every year with no stop to it. I'm retired with a low income. My wife works 2 jobs to help. We cannot afford having this happen to us along with the residents of Lane County. I understand a slight raise, but $68,410 is excessive. He goes on to do some comparables with some mobile homes and a house rental next door that are uninhabitable, he would say discounts the value of his property. He's got a few pictures of the parcel, and the referee weighed in. First of all, the testimony that the petitioner put into Marcia says the value increased substantially this year. There's not many improvements, as we stated earlier, or as I stated earlier. The views are terrible. The packing plant is to the east. The Maid-Green properties are not nice. Certain days the wind blows the sewer smell. The owner thinks the site size has been incorrectly documented. Marcia's comments are that she's recommending no change. The information provided by the owner was not sufficient to warrant a decrease in value. And Henry reviewed this for the assessor's office. His recommendation is no change. Insufficient evidence provided to warrant a change. I'll note for the record that the values, the current land value is $44,941. Both the referee and Henry's numbers are exact. The building value is $219,178. Those are also the same for the referee and the assessor. Total value of this property remains at $264,119. That is my motion number 5.
Second.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
I have protest 198 for an Amy Wolfskill. Property ID 0082110.50 at 3714 North Sand Road, Hershey, Nebraska. Ashley, I don't think the numbers on the protested valuation entered by the protester are correct according to what's on the assessor's sheet. I'm gonna read them in anyway. So protested valuation, she has a total of $193,656. She's asking for a reduction to $170,850. Reasons: land comparison. She is comparing the neighbor's 5-acre parcel valued at $47,670, which is $9,534 an acre. We have a 1.63 acres times 9,534. Her math indicates that she feels her value should be, using that formula, $15,540. Goes on to say building valuation. We no longer have number 7 garage built in 1965, which was a 14 by 30. She subtracted $3,574 in value for the buildings. Dwelling value, total living space should be 2,278 feet. Comparison parcel of the neighbors, and she lists 2 parcel IDs. I believe we established previously that you can't compare a 1.6 acre parcel to a parcel more than 5 acres because that's not how you guys value it, correct?
When I talked to her, or when someone in the office talked to her, she ended up being okay with the land. So when I talked to her, we just talked about the buildings.
Okay,
So-
very good, good to know. I am gonna go to the assessor's page because she thought her total property value that she used on here was $193,656, when your guys's indicates that it's $252,340, so a substantial difference there. This was reviewed by Ashley. She did change the square footage, the condition and plumbing fixtures on the house, changed condition on the barn. Lean-to and detached garage lowered to normal, removed the old garage that had been gone. That gave a lowered valuation. Land stays the same at $36,610. Lowered the improvements to $174,179 for a total lowered valuation of $210,789. My motion is number 6.
Second.
Hughley?
Aye.
Bruns?
Aye.
Woodruff?
Aye.
Weems?
Aye.
Wheeler?
Aye.
Got one worked here, let me take that one. Protest number 345, this was a no-show for a referee. It's Gina Mercer, parcel number 0046665.0. It's, land is $29,402. They're not protesting. The building was at 94,807. They're asking it to be reduced to $84,000. The total land and building from $124,209 to $113,402. They have some pretty good evidence of the condition. There are a lot of photos on the damaged roof, entry doors, windows, mortar, just a good amount of information. Be my motion number 6, that after testimony and evidence presented to the assessor, I move to lower the valuation to the assessor's recommendation after new evidence. We'd leave the land at $29,402, reduce the improvements to $83,733 for a new value of $113,185, number 6.
Second.
Bruns?
Aye.
Woodruff?
Aye.
Weems?
Aye.
Wheeler?
Aye.
Hughley?
Aye.
I have protest number 333. This is for a Jimmy Falcon. The property ID number is 0072561.00. The property description is the Falcon Second Administrative Subdivision of the Falcon Administrative Subdivision, Lot 1 of part of Government Lot 5, 23-13-28, Lot 1 overall for 1.13 acres. The protested valuation for 2024 has land valued at $35,105, buildings at $276,809 for a total valuation of $311,914. The requested valuation for 2024 is $35,105 for the land, staying the same. Buildings dropping down to $248,722 for a total requested valuation of $283,827. The reason for the requested valuation change is last year it went up $38,898, and the protester was unable to protest due to their mom's death and burial in Texas. Please relook at this percentage. This will be a $66,735 increase in 2 years. Sales do not show this kind of increase. They were scheduled for a referee meeting, which they no-showed. The assessor has looked at everything and recommends no change. Insufficient evidence provided to warrant a change. After looking at this, I would agree with the assessor's recommendation, make a motion number 2, to accept the recommendation of the assessor, which indicates no change at this time. No evidence was presented to warrant a change.
Second.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Okay, I have protest number 367. It was marked as 366, but it's been Xed out, so I want to make sure this is property, protest number 367 on property ID of 002834304. Basically the Menards building property. Is that protest number 367?
Yes.
Okay. This is submitted by a Mackenzie Bro, who looks to be representing Ryan Tax Compliance Services, who evidently are working on behalf of Menards, Inc. This is listed as Menards First Subdivision, 17.8 acres at South Parkway Drive. They are protesting the total valuation of $10,511,932, requesting $9,135,402. Reason for that, the subject property is valued in excess of fair market value based on the three approaches to value: cost, market, and income. In addition, the property is valued in excess of what similarly situated properties are. This did go to the referee. Henry and Charity worked this, and they have lowered the evaluation probably about halfway from what it was to what they're asking. They corrected the value to 2023 value. Cost tables were inadvertently updated on this parcel. The referee agreed with the assessor's recommendation to lower the value. The land is, and I'm going to concur, the land is staying the same at $923,000, but the building is being lowered to $8,797,694 for a total valuation of $9,720,694. So my motion will be number 9, after testimony and evidence presented to the assessor and referee, I move to lower the valuation to the assessor's recommendation, number 9.
Second.
Weems.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Protest 295, Lloyd L. and Peggy Jean K. Miller. Parcel ID is 0107790.00. Otherwise described as 26568 South Branding Road, the southeast quarter of Section 27, range or Township 11, Range 30, 160.65 acres. The protested value is $110,787, requesting a reduction of to $97,482. There apparently are no buildings, there is a small building on this site, but it's not broken down to land or and building. Comments made, the building was damaged by wind and house damaged, prairie dogs running the ground. We had to pay to have the pasture sprayed for weeds. The referee heard the testimony. They provided some pictures of the landscape of the prairie dog infestation. It looks kind of substantial. Marsh's worksheet says the testimony coming from the petitioner, the taxes are too high and difficult to afford. Tax burden prevents improvements from being made. Marcia comments, the information provided by the owner is not sufficient to warrant a decrease in value. Julie looked at this, and she concurs with the referee, or they one or the other, that there should be no change, and she has a letter identifying the fact that she has brought this parcel into compliance between the 69 and 75% value as state statute requires. Therefore, the land will change, will not change and remain at $110,164, and the small building will continue to be valued at $623 for a total value of $110,787. That is my motion, is number 5.
Second.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
I have protest 193 for Keith McCormick, trustee, for parcel 0087725.00 at 412 Siegel Lane at Lake Maloney. Protested valuation is $527,446, requesting a lower valuation to $467,000 even. Reason for request is appraisal of real property, which he attached. It's a lengthy appraisal, and the appraisal total is for $467,000 even. He did have an appointment with the referee, but he was a no-show to that appointment. This was reviewed by Charity, and Charity's remark is she recommends no change, unable to get to the appraised value. There were many pictures attached to the appraisal. It's a beautiful property. The home is nice inside and out. My recommendation, my motion is number 4. I move to accept the recommendation of the assessor, which indicates no change at this time. Evidence presented does not warrant a change.
Second.
Hughley.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Before you move on that one, I just want to make mention that in looking at those sales that are on that appraisal.
The comparables.
Yeah, I put it in my note.
And he did attach like 6, I think,
Yeah, there were 6 total
comparables.
sales. 3 were from 2020, 1 was from 2021, and then the other 3 were from 2022. And it's a 2024 appraisal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel that that's showing market value at the time, as of this time, you know what I mean? So.
I agreed with that.
Next protest is 268. It's Schneider Holding Company, James Schneider. Parcel number 009175.0. The assessor has the land at 21109. Buildings at 143,670 for a total of $165,188. Protester is asking the land be reduced to $15,000, the buildings to $100,000 for a total of $115,000. They did have a referee on this. The comments from the protester says the property was purchased in February of 2024 for $115,000. The new county valuation was $165,188. The actual income of the property at 2017 East E is $600 per month, and at 29 East E, $525 a month. No concessions or trades were done in the purchase of this property. The referee's recommendation, okay, I'm going to read first the testimony from that she wrote down. Subject property was purchased recently. According to the owner, it was an arm's length transaction. The previous owner is a client. When the client came to pay his bill at Noble Refrigeration, an agreement was made. The gross monthly income is $1,125. The exterior is in advanced condition. She's recommending the land remain the same at $21,109, but the buildings be reduced from $144,079 to $93,891 for a total of $115,000. The subject was placed in the name of the holding company at the time of the sale. The owner has several rental properties that are all in the name of the holding company. According to the owner, this was an arm's length transaction. I'd ask Henry to come up and bring those properties up along with any, maybe recent sales or anything. Henry, would you like to?
Okay, that was two houses to the.
First of all, these are a number of, appear to be
Duplexes.
modular rentals that are duplexes, am I correct? Maybe you can zoom in a little.
This one should be two. Okay, this one sold February of '24 for $160,000.
And is that a similar?
Two houses away.
Two houses
Yep,
away, but
it's a
is it a
duplex.
similar property regardless? So where is that? Is there a duplex like the others?
Yep,
Yeah,
they're all duplex.
Thank you.
Yep, and this one now we have 161, 284 on.
Okay,
Okay, now go to the one right beside, to the west, east. To the east one. Okay, this is a duplex. It has an attached garage, but it sold in May of 2018 for $150,000. We have $197,348 on it right now.
so.
Those are two pretty close. I don't know if Marcia looked at the sales.
I don't know if she did either, but I'm looking at these properties that are very similar. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 duplexes that are almost identical down through there, with the exception of that one. That almost appears to be an outlier with the double attached garage. And I understand it's assessed at more, but all of the other properties are very, almost identical. And so that's what we have. Comments, questions?
What, the referee's different than,
Yeah, she recommends the purchase price, which was $115.
And I
Because she said it was a good sell. Henry's saying it's a bad sell because first of all, Henry is saying, or the assessor's office, leave the land at 21,109, the building's at 144,079 for a total of 165,188. No change. After reviewing the taxpayer information, a holding company purchased this property, which was not on the open market. And it was determined to be a bad sell because if you remember, the client came to him and they worked out a deal when he went to pay his rent. So that's the reason they're saying it wasn't a good sell on the open market.
And then the pictures in there don't really show any wear and tear on the building very good.
Yeah.
yeah, there's no mention that the referee weighed in on comparables either, right?
No.
So-
She's just saying she felt it was an arm's length transaction. That was pretty much her only.
Yeah, okay.
So it's going to be my motion that after evidence and testimony presented to both the assessor and referee number 3, I move to accept the, oh no. After evidence and testimony presented to the assessor and referee, oh gosh, okay. I don't know what number it is, but I'm going to agree with the assessor that I do not feel it was an arm's length transaction. I don't feel it was a good sell. I feel it was a bad sell because it was not on the open market. The protester said that it was, when they came in to pay their rent, they were able to work out a deal on the sale of the property, which we don't know what it is, so it's going to be my motion that to accept the recommendation of the assessor, and both the assessor and referee did see the
I think
properties.
you want 5, Joe.
5?
Yes.
We used number 1 on some of these last week.
Yeah, because 5,
Because-
it says, which indicates no, because the referee said it did warrant a change, so.
Right. We used number one, actually.
Okay.
We used, I don't know if we were out of bounds, but when we were working that long
Because you
day.
went with the assessors.
Yeah, because we went with the assessor, so even though the referee heard this, we didn't feel, or we didn't believe that it was out of bounds to use number one as our motion, because we're not saying that it wasn't heard by a referee, we're just simply saying we're accepting the recommendation of the assessor.
And that we felt like the value was
Like-kind properties.
equalized.
We used this a couple times, I don't know if we're right or wrong, but.
So anyway, I will stick with my motion, and I will also add that I think it is equalized with like-kind properties. We'd seen the comps, so that is my motion to accept the no change as recommended by the assessor.
I'd second that.
Prince,
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
I did have Pat call the 3 people and they will all be here tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
You ready, Jerry? You want me to work on it?
Go ahead, or Chris.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I'm
have
sorry.
protest number
I'm not used to
346.
him being here. I forgot he was even in the room.
I have protest number 346.
Oh, this is Chris, right?
The protester is Christine E. Seck. The property ID number is 0061545.00. The real property description is Hillcrest Estates, 5th edition, 12-3, 1.03 acres of Section 2, Township 14, Range 30 West in Lincoln County, Nebraska. The protested valuation for 2024 has land at $19,798, buildings and improvements at $183,336, for a total valuation of $203,164. The requested valuation has land staying the same at $19,798, building and improvements dropping to $173,261, for a total requested valuation of $193,059. The reason for the requested valuation change is they believe that the increase in valuation is mistakenly based on the recent sales of neighboring properties, which differ significantly from the age and features of their property. They've included recent sale value of comparable property located at 112 Northridge Circle Drive, which they believe is more similar to property and building features of their property. See attached. There's also several other assessor, what they believe are comparables. This was scheduled for referee. They did no-show that, but they did meet with Henry in the assessor's office. I'm also going to make a note. I've seen a lot of notes on these, on some of these protests staying not an original signature. I don't know if that's coming from the clerk's office, but I am aware that the instructions provided do allow for electronic signature, which this one is. So I'm just making sure that that's annotated and there's no confusion there. After speaking with the assessor, Henry took a look at their information, reviewed the property, and did lower made a recommendation lowering it based on condition, dropping the condition to normal. So that said, and reviewing a lot of the photos and comparables that they did provide, I would agree with that. So I would make a motion number 7, that after inspection and review by the assessor, I move to lower the value due to the condition of the property. That would have land staying at $19,798, excuse me. Buildings improvements down to $170,646 for a total valuation change of $190,444. That would be my motion.
Second.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Bruns.
All right.
I'll go ahead, Ken.
Go ahead,
You
Joe.
can follow after mine. Here's protest number 330 of Mr. Doug Cross, 617 North Washington Ave here in North Platte. Property ID of 004352000. It's described as Town Lots CO 95. He is protesting the total valuation of $29,027, requesting $19,383 based upon, he goes into quite a dissertation about the problems he's had with the roof and leaking and roof contractor problems and all that. But this did go in front of the referee, and the referee happens to agree with, Ashley, you reviewed this, and you both are saying no change. House is already in poor condition and receiving a 20% functional depreciation. The reason that it's valued as it is, you state all Southside land was revalued and led to the increase. So, and like I said, the referee agreed with your assessment. So this will be number 5, after testimony and evidence presented to the assessor and referee, which indicates no change at this time. The evidence presented does not warrant a change, number 5.
Second.
Number 5.
I did.
Weems.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Brent.
Aye.
Woodruff.
All right.
Protest 296, Lloyd L. and Peggy Jean K. Miller, parcel ID 0108380.00, further described as the northeast quarter of section 18, township 11, range 29, 160 acres. Protested value is an aggregate 129,158, requesting a reduction in aggregate value to 101,319. He writes, we are old, we are struggling now to pay taxes at 90. My husband works every day. Apparently Mrs. Miller wrote the comment. This went to referee. The petitioner provided some photographs of the buildings on the property. The referee weighed in and notates that the petitioner states the taxes are too high and difficult to afford. Tax burden prevents improvements from being made. Referee's comments are, recommendation is no change. She states the information provided by the owner is not sufficient to warrant a decrease in value. Julie weighed in for the assessor, and she concurs no change, and she has attached the letter identifying the fact that she's staying in compliance with this primarily pasture land with state statute, keeping it between 69 and 75%, and this parcel, I believe, is at 70. So the land would remain at 126,572. And the improvements, the buildings would remain at $2,586 for a total value of $129,158. My motion's number 5.
Second.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Brents.
Aye.
And Weems.
Aye.
Protest 316, Frank Fleece, Sutherland, Nebraska, on property 0091178.00 in Fleece's second replat. Protested valuation is $134,579. He is requesting it be lowered to $47,676. He attached his reasoning. The house at 721 Walnut has been damaged in the past. I have not lived in it since 2010, and I keep it for storage. The photo on the assessor's file is over 15 years old, so they have not been out to visually inspect in all these years. Attached, you will find current photos of the property. There are many photos attached of the outside of the property. I didn't see any photos of the inside at all. The house at 701 Walnut has been unlivable for many years. It has no power access. It has been kept closed until future work can be done. There are photos attached. Again, just of the outside of the home, no photos of the inside. Frank goes on to say, I do not have a problem with the valuation of the land. I do not want to protest, I do want to protest the valuation of the building. If the county feels they are valued as listed, then I will be willing to sell them to the county at a 25% discount off of their price, and you can resell them. He requests the valuation of the land to remain at $22,676 and for the value of the buildings to be lowered to $25,000. This did go before the referee. Ashley worked the protest. She did change the 1.5-story house to poor condition. It is a small house and it's already in poor condition. Ashley's recommendation is to leave the land at $22,676 and lower the improvements to $81,112 for a total of $103,788. Marcia did agree with the assessor's recommendation to lower the value to the level that Ashley took it down to. My recommendation would be number 9. After testimony and evidence presented to the assessor and referee, I move to lower the valuation to the assessor's recommendation.
Second.
Hughley?
Aye.
Brent?
Aye.
Woodruff?
Aye.
Weems?
Aye.
Wheeler?
Aye.
Protest number 269, Thomas D. and Don M. Leidick, parcel number 00654, 0065480.1. They're asking that the land be reduced from $710,545. They have the same amount written on the other side, so I don't think that's quite what they meant. Talks about their evidence of says there's a minimum maintenance road along the south side of the property. The county road should not be taxed 2 acres. NRD certified 143.81 acres, and the county has assessed at 157 acres of irrigated. The actual value of the center pivot should be based on 143.81. Was a no-show to the referee. The assessor is recommending lowering the land from $710,545 to $675,138, making an adjustment for the survey for the road, and also adjusted the irrigated acres per the NRD number 6.
Second.
That testimony that was presented to the assessor, I move to lower the valuation as assessor's recommendation.
Okay. Brent?
Aye.
Woodruff?
Aye.
Weems?
Aye.
Wheeler?
Aye.
Hughley?
Aye.
I have protest number 357. This is from a Larry Lee Hill. The property ID number is 49540.00. The real property description is Zenkers replat, north 2 feet of lot 5 and all of lot 6 on block 21. The protested valuation for 2024 has a total valuation of $108,332 and a requested valuation of $90,000 total. The reasons for the requested valuation change are the bathroom needs remodeling and some repairs in the kitchen. They had backed up drain and water, essentially the water backed up and they had a lot of water damage. They were scheduled for an appointment with the referee, but they did cancel that after meeting with Ashley in the assessor's office. Ashley reviewed everything and all the evidence they provided, including a lot of photos. And she changed the condition of the house to normal and added a 15% functional depreciation for the water damage issues in the kitchen and the bathroom. It would be my motion, reason number 7, that after inspection and review by the assessor, I move to lower the value due to the condition of the property, in line with the assessor's recommendation, to land being valued at $27,191, improvements of $65,781 for a total valuation of $92,972.
Second.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Protest number 331 of Mr. Harold Branting, 2211 West Phillip Ave, here in North Platte. Property ID 0048370. This is described as Westfield Inc. replat of Block 6, 1761 TP. He is protesting the valuation of $268,308, requesting $235,000. Reason for this request is no changes to property in 4 years. Their valuation has gone up very significantly. There isn't a whole lot else that has been provided. A few pictures. This did go to the referee. The referee agreed with Charity when she reviewed this. Evidently, they're going to lower it slightly. Evidently, there was a duplicate 64 square foot covered patio that was removed, and no other changes were due. But that did lower the valuation, and the referee did agree with this slightly lowering of the valuation. So this would be a number 9. After testimony and evidence presented to the assessor and referee, I move to lower the valuation to the assessor's recommendation, which will be land at $54,450, improvements at $212,742, for a total of $267,192. You got a number 9.
Second.
Weems.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Protest 297, Lloyd and Peggy Jean K. Miller. Parcel ID is 0107775.00. Further described as part of the southwest quarter of the northwest quarter, section, is that 10? 26, no. Section 26, Township 11, Range 30. Does that sound right? Okay, here we go. So the protested value is, because there's no improvements, is $177,580, requesting it be reduced to $154,443. Comment is it's just a dry field. No irrigation, sometimes you don't know if a crop, if you get a crop. The referee heard this protest. She writes, the petitioner says it's a dry land farm, taxes are too high, difficult to afford, the tax burden prevents improvements being made. Marcia states, the information provided by the owner is not sufficient to warrant a decrease. I saw no pictures, photographs, any other printouts lent in testimony. Julie wrote, weighed in for the assessor and attached her comments on the board equalization requirements by statute to stay within 69 and 75%, which we are in compliance with. And since there was no evidence that I can see presented, I would leave the land at $177,580 with no buildings. So the motion's number 3.
Second.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Protest 318 for Richard and Susan McCain for property ID 0081615.00. This is part of the west half of section 351432, 164.393 acres. Protested valuation is $232,375. They are requesting, actually the request is higher than the value, so that must be maybe switched around. They're requesting it be $236,650. Reason for valuation change, land is unimproved and unchanged from previous years. The income from rent for hay just covers the taxes. The valuation went up 3.43% last year already. This was reviewed by Julie, and it did go before the referee. Julie attached her letter explaining the ag parcel valuation requirements of being between 69 and 75%, and this actually comes in at the low end of that range at 71%. Her recommendation is no change. The referee agreed with Julie. No information provided by the owner was not sufficient to warrant a decrease in value. My motion is number 5.
Second.
Hughley?
Aye.
Bruns?
Aye.
Woodruff?
Aye.
Weems?
Aye.
Wheeler?
Before I read that in, I didn't say the total valuation recommended by Julie is different than both of the numbers up top. It was $240,925. I failed to read that in.
Okay. Protest number 281, it's by Julie Oldham, parcel number 0039555.0. They're asking that the land and improvements be reduced from $303,630 to $250,000. The attached comments are, they did a 1031 exchange. This person has a number of properties we'll be looking at. Appears to be buying properties in relatively good location in town and kind of rehabbing and renting those out. But to this particular property, they're saying that he put $50,000 worth of lipstick on it to get it ready to rent. Was able to paint the walls but not the ceiling. The house is still not in great shape. It looks okay from the street. It's not that great in the back or the inside. She's put several photos. Would be my motion number 4, that, and there was no referee, it was a no-show. He only received 3 photos with the protest and informal information, but the sell was for $300,000 on 7/31/23, even in the condition it was in. It did correct the rear porch from the screen porch and a 1-story porch. I don't make sure that got on there. Let's see.
Bill, I think Charity went to get some information on that one.
Okay, so I'm gonna hold off on this one.
What is
Okay.
the address on that, Joe?
The address, I think, was 1409 Dent Court, Southfield 10th.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold off on this one. I have another one on her that was corrected, so I'm gonna go on and read, if I can, 282. We'll hold this one open. 282 is a no-show from a Julie Oldham. They're asking the land improvements be reduced from $133,761 to $119,000. This is at 326 McDonald Avenue. Parcel number is 0027745.0. They also included some photos. Would be my motion number 6. They paid $140,000 on 6/30 of 2022 in the current condition. However, there was a correction made. Let's see. I'll find the sheet by Charity. Be my motion that the land remain at $38,675. The buildings be reduced from $95,086 to $86,698 for a total of $125,373. It did take into account the current condition and did make those corrections. I think it reduced the condition to normal, I think is what this said here. Hold on. It's written in 2 or 3 different places, so I apologize. change the condition to normal, that is correct, so it'd be my motion number 6.
Second.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
I have
Please go ahead, and I'm going to just continue with this one, we'll go ahead. Yes, sir.
I have protest number 335. This is from a John W. Roden. The protest was filed on his behalf by Shauna Treat. The property ID is 0022455.00. The real property description is Kegel's subdivision of Runstrom's subdivision, Lot 2, Block 4. The protested valuation for 2024 has land at $66,756, improvements at $170,595, for a total valuation of $237,351. The requested valuation drops the total down to $154,430. The reason for the requested valuation change is houses sold in the last 6 months do not support the increase. See attached documents. They did provide a lot of sale comparables. Well, a lot of sales in the past 6 months. None of them which look like the property in question.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
So
Yeah.
they did speak with both the assessor's office, Charity, and the assessor's office, as well as the referee, both of which are recommending no change. The assessor's office states no change. Comparables and listings provided are not comparable to the subject property. They may be similar in size, but they are not the same in age or location as the subject property. And the referees stated no change. The information provided by the owner was not sufficient to warrant a change. It would be my motion, number 5, that after testimony and evidence presented to the assessor and referee, which indicates no change at this time, the evidence presented does not warrant a change.
Second.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Wheeler. Aye. Hughley.
Aye.
Did you give
Did
it?
you? Aye.
Yeah, he said aye. I said aye.
Okay, good. Protest 339 to Mr. Joseph Gant, 208 South Allen Avenue, here in North Platte, property ID of 0041640. It's described as EXT Swenson's second sub 72. He is protesting the total valuation of $20,856. Requesting $12,000. Reason for the request: rotten doors, missing shingles, and leaky roof, rotten siding, rotten windows. One side of gravel road, the other side is the railroad. This did go to the referee, and the referee agreed with you, Ashley, that the condition of the detached garage was changed to poor, and the property looks in very poor disarray. So I would have to concur. This is one of these that I've had now, this is the second one in a row where the land is valued higher than the buildings because of very, very poor condition, which that's another issue. I am going to agree with the assessor and the referee where they say it will be changed, it will be lowered. So this would be a number 9 after testimony and evidence presented to the assessor and referee. I move to lower the valuation to the assessor's recommendation, which will be land at $12,858, improvements at $5,998, for a total of $18,856. Again, number 9.
Is this an occupied property?
It is a lot with a detached garage. And then he did also buy the lot to the east of it. He bought both of the lots for $40,000. And that was
In 24.
in 24, in January.
Weems.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Bruns. Woodruff.
All right.
Protest 298 Lloyd L. and Peggy Jean K. Miller. Parcel ID is 0108375. 0.00. This parcel has improvements on it. Further described as part of the southwest quarter, section 7, township 11, range 29, 131.65 acres. The protested value is an aggregate number of $174,659. The valuation reduction request is also an aggregate $150,958. He writes, we have not, or they write, we have not been able to improve buildings. We have had a hard time paying taxes, hard time paying taxes. The referee, this was heard by the referee as well. Charity weighed in for the assessor's office. They did provide a number of photographs of the condition of the buildings. And on the petitioner's comments that Marcia put in her record, quotes, the taxes are too high and difficult to afford. The tax burden prevents improvements from being made. The referee recommends no change, and she comments the information provided by the owner is not sufficient to warrant a decrease in value. So she and Charity concur that the land would remain at $144,003. The improvements would remain at $30,656 for a total value of $174,659. And since there was evidence but not sufficient in the eyes of either of those parties, my motion is number 5.
Second.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff. Weeds.
Aye.
Protest 328 for Linda Doyle. Property 0108375.50 at 21907 East Dairy Road, part of the southwest quarter of section 7-11-29, 20.15 acres. Protested valuation. I don't feel like her numbers up top are accurate, but I'm gonna read them in. Protested valuation is $408,778. She's requesting a valuation of the exact same amount, $408,778.
That was last year's value.
Okay, I see. Oh, I see. So her reason is basement is no longer half finished, water damaged, basement not finished, foundation damaged, drywall cracking, flooring upstairs needs replaced, no improvements, actually more damage, siding broken. This was reviewed by Charity and also the referee. Charity's remarks are no change, house is already in below normal condition and has an additional 15% functional depreciation for foundation issues. Unable to remove the basement finish due to the photos only showing a small area of concrete in the basement, not the entire unfinished rooms. There were photos attached that support that information. Referee agreed with the assessor's recommendation of no change. Owner provided information was not sufficient to warrant a decrease in value. That leaves the land at $76,725, improvements at $379,208, for a total valuation of $455,933. My motion is number 5.
Before you go further with that, can I ask, were there any other basement? She was supposed to bring pictures in last week, like Thursday or Friday. I don't know if Nicole, if you guys got new photos.
There were a second packet of pictures, but when I looked at them, I really didn't tell that they were much different than the first ones. They're pretty poor quality.
She's claiming that there should be no basement finish, but we didn't have photos. So
I mean, it's mostly just of the floor and,
Like a basement floor to me.
yeah.
It still looks
Just like most
drywall.
basement floors, didn't it, kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't feel like
I
this.
mean, it even has trim. You can even see trim.
They
in
even,
the
they
pictures.
they even, the concrete guy even did a good job and cut it so it didn't crack.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't feel like the second packet of pictures, It's just, yeah.
It's just flooring that's missing.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be some functional use. You might put some functional on it for flooring being missing, but not more than 5%. But it still has trim and drywall.
It has trim and drywall, yeah.
So we got, you made your motion,
Number 5.
and I'll second that motion.
Hughley?
Aye.
Bruns?
Aye.
Weems? Wheeler?
Aye.
Protest number 281, Julie Oldham's, parcel number 003955. They're asking that the land and improvements be reduced from $303,630 to $250,000. This is one I previously started reading in. I've read in most of the comments about the $50,000 worth of lipstick. Would be my motion number 6. A charity actually looked at this, to leave the land at $53,898, but she did correct the rear porch from a screened-in porch to just an open one-story porch, which would reduce the improvements from $249,732 to $248,599. Total improvements from $303,630 to $302,497. Number 6, I might also comment that they purchased this home for $300,000 on the open market, 7/31 of '23. Number 6.
Second.
And just, these are the pictures of when she listed it for rent. And it was for rent for $2,100, I think. But it looks pretty, I mean, all new cabinetry and countertops.
Right, so, but the time that she listed it for rent is not the sales, we have to be careful, that's not the time that we're assessing it, guys. We're assessing it at the previous time, so,
As of January 1.
right, and that,
She
what,
paid for this in July of '23.
no, but was that as of January 1, that
So,
listing?
The listing, I think, was done in January or February.
I thought it was later, okay, but anyway, it may.
I'd have to look at when it was actually listed on there.
So anyway, it looks great now, and even at the previous value at $300,000 she paid for it, I think it's,
Scroll down to,
What was the address?
right, so
That's a
it
great
was
neighborhood. It's,
listed for rent for $2,200 in February. And in January, both January and February, so.
it's a nice call.
Okay.
Bruns?
I
Aye.
just wanted you guys to see this.
Yep.
Thanks, Charity.
Weems?
Aye.
Wheeler?
Aye.
Hughley?
Aye, and this will be our last one, and we'll take a break.
Okay, I have
And read
protest
fast
number 340. This is from a Joseph Gant on property ID 45860.00. The legal description is Valley View Second Administrative Subdivision 2-1. The protest evaluation for 2024 has landed, that can't be right. No, that's not right. The assessor's card has it at $40,235, building and improvements at $136,334 for a total valuation of $176,569. The requested valuation brings land down to 11,000, buildings to 95,000 for a total valuation of $106,000. They said that they purchased the house for $79,000, don't know when. There were no upgrades or renovations. I'm not going to read the part of this because I don't think it's appropriate, but they do have rotten windows, rotten doors, and rotten siding listed as part of their reasons. They did supply a lot of photographs. Looks like they did speak with the assessor's office, and they also had a meeting with the referee. The assessor's office, Charity in the assessor's office, recommends she change the condition to poor due to extensive maintenance needed in the house. That dropped the total valuation, well, the land staying at $40,235, improvements down to $124,288. for a total valuation of $164,523. The recommendation from the referee is to lower it to the assessor's recommendation. Therefore, it would be my motion number 9. After testimony and evidence presented to the assessor and referee, I move to lower to the assessor's recommendation as read in.
Second.
Weems.
Aye.
Fuller.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Brent.
Aye.
I bought that in 2009.
We'll recess until 1 o'clock. Oh, yes, 1 o'clock.